Welcome to Math 11 in the AM. Joel Shindano. Looking at pay statements and deduction, this booklet, we're working through. You see these stacks of fake cash, monopoly money. Someday you'll be making real money. So this is where it all fits in the curriculum. A few things you're going to extend your understanding of arithmetic operations, rational numbers to solve problems about money at your home and recreation and travel. That's where it fits into your curriculum. Let's talk about some basic terms here, glossary. And the first one happens to be basic deductions. When you're printed, we talked about gross income in the first unit only. So that means if you work 12 hours at $12 an hour, you multiply it to $144. I guess you can't make 12, you got to make 13. Anyways, then there's deductions taken off. If you're expected to earn over the minimum amount, they'll take off deductions. They'll take off taxes. And these basic deductions are income tax, CPP, Canada Pension Plan, and EI, Employment Insurance. Now, first of all, what is income tax? Well, we'll bring it up as you go through it. Canada Pension Plan. It contributions which provide you and your dependents some financial protection throughout your life. Essentially, about right now the age is when you turn 65, it starts paying you back. So basically, it sets aside money from your paycheck and your employer. A little bit, even when you're 20 and stuff like this. By the time you turn 65, hopefully you've built up enough that it'll pay you $500 a month or something like that. You don't have to work full time. Deductions is taken off your gross pay. Earnings statements. Usually you don't get paper ones anymore. Everything's digital. But it's a summary of your pay, gross pay, and then the deductions that come off. Employment insurance. You pay into that. But if you ever lose your job, this is different than quit your job. If you lose your job, you might be able to apply, and it pays you in the meantime until you find another job. It's good. Sometimes those seasonal workers. So say you work for a business and it's like lawn care and landscaping and stuff like this. You get laid off every winter, right? Maybe they have you partially working shoveling snow. It's fine. Say you get laid off every winter, November through March or something. You might be able to do employment insurance over the winter too. There's an example too. And know that you have a job coming back. Federal income tax is paid to the Canadian government at a rate that increases as your gross wage increases. Meaning, if you're only making $30,000 a year, you have a low tax rate compared to, well, actually, you get taxed the same on the $30,000 you make that a millionaire gets taxed on $30,000, the first $30,000 they earn. It's as you earn more money, you slip up into higher tax brackets for amounts greater than a certain. Anyway, it does go up as you earn more, but they still pay the same tax rate on the low end for you. Net pay. It's basically what you actually get in your pocket after the deductions are removed from gross pay. Pay statement, summary. Provincial income tax too. Every province it's different. Alberta has smaller provincial taxes than Saskatchewan does, for example. And it's paid to the provincial government. Secondary deductions, that can vary. It's not the same throughout Canada and stuff like this. It varies by your employer, including union dues, possibly health benefits and insurance. Okay, nothing's free, but they're actually really good things to pay for. So be thankful if you have those deductions. Okay, we just went through these things, so we're not going to go through and write down what you know because we're learning, and we'll discuss things. I'm not worried about how to use your calculator to multiply and divide. But I am worried about this. So here we are, 7th page slides. I'm at, so we'll read it. Hands working here. Pay statements. And deductions, I got the hiccups. Your pay statement is a record of the money you earned and the deductions you paid during a specific period. By law, an employer must deduct the following amounts from your earnings: income tax, employment insurance, Canada pension plan. That means that the amount on your paycheck will be less than what you earned gross. It's your net pay. I don't know why they have an equal sign on this diagram. It doesn't make any sense. Because deductions don't equal your gross pay. I think it should say gross pay. Does this make sense now? Gross pay minus deduction. And then equals. This is wrong. That's very confusing. Mix her up. Top. Now, fix that up. Because your booklet was wrong too, wasn't it? The one I used was. I'm going to pause it while you fix it. Moving along, now that we got that fixed, you got it down in your book. So let's try some deductions. The math is fairly easy. It's subtraction. Basic deductions here, secondary are maybe some extra things your employer has added in there. And it's good things. I have life insurance. I pay union dues. I have disability insurance. So that means I'm happy to pay these things because if I am out doing my job, I fall down, there's a lot of stairs here. Let's say I fall down the stairs, break my leg or something like this. I can't get to work, especially at this school. It's not wheelchair accessible and stuff too, right? I need to heal. And I'm home recouping. I will be paid because I've paid into a program that will pay for sick leave and stuff like this for 2 weeks or something like this until I mend a little bit better. So it's a good thing. I actually pay into a health program too. So like I get prescriptions and stuff like this. A lot of them, I won't have to pay $30 for it. I might only have to pay 10. But it's because I have a card that's linked to my employer plan I benefit from. It's called a benefit, and it's a good one. But income tax alone, federal and provincial, we're talking about. What do you guys think federal income tax pays for? All you know is you can see these F. Trudeau flags and stuff like this. The federal income tax goes into something. What do you think? I'll pause until we get some ideas. Since you guys don't have any ideas, and it doesn't surprise me, where your federal tax dollar goes. I just brought up an article, and I'll give you some of the things here. Benefits to the elderly. Yeah. That's actually the largest single expense. No, it isn't. Okay. Yeah, it is actually. The other one that's larger is all other departments and agencies. So you guys jot these down as I read them out. Elderly benefits. When you're old, you'll be taken care of. Not 100%, but different countries. OAS, it's called, old age security, for example. Elderly employment insurance. You do pay into it as an employee, but also federal government. Yeah, that's bad spelling. Employment insurance. Children. Think about this. I don't know if you're aware, whoever takes care of you, one person, because you can't have both parents. Parents in two different houses, but one parent will receive a monthly benefit from the government that's supposed to be to help take care of clothing, food, whatever they choose. There's a benefit. You guys are making some a lot of money. I don't know if they're right. And they should. It should not be handed over to you. The purpose is they're putting a roof over your head. That's just some of them. There's a health trend, as in the federal government transfers some of this money then to the provinces to deliver hospitals and clinics and doctors and so I'm going to say the health trend. I'll just say health. And social transfer. That, have you ever hear of social services and stuff like this? Well, it's things like, some people will say welfare, things like that. But sometimes they'll say social services. There's a transfer to the provinces. Sometimes it's federal. Those are important things. Unfortunately, in life, not everybody is as healthy as you guys are here. Some people do honestly have a hard time uh, maybe getting to work except for health reasons, or and health reasons can be both physical or mental health reasons. So there's all kinds of. There's a lot of other things here too. I'm not going to list them all. Fiscal earnings, other public transfer payments, gas tax refund, crown corporations, defense. It's actually, yeah, it's a good chunk too. I'll put national defense, like Army, the Air Force. I'll put national. We don't have a huge Air Force, Army, etc. National defense. Well, there's a bunch of other things too, but that's another secret. Okay. Now, I'm not giving the amounts. Elderly benefits is the largest one. From there, everything else is less. Okay. So I'm supposing you guys probably don't know what do provincial, and I'll pause this while I look that one up for us. Now the main financial responsibilities, and there's a lot of other things, social services too. It's education and schools, healthcare, and hospitals. I'll just put education. Health. It's actually a provincial responsibility. There's some transfer money from the federal government. There's a lot of other things too. And I'd say social service care is along the lines of healthcare too. There's all kinds of things, investments in the province, help businesses run well. And some people argue is that we really need to be funding businesses. Well, maybe if we have businesses not succeeding, we'll have a crappier life in general for a lot of people. So you can argue one thing or another. That's politics. This is what it's doing basically right now. I'd say you are lucky to be in a country where you do pay taxes, so that if you go to the doctor, have you ever shelled over money to go see Just the doctor, you got a cold or something like this, a broken foot, you go to the hospital, a broken leg or something like this. Did you have to pay anything? Not up front. You might have to pay for a prescription after. What's that? You pay for your meds, prescriptions, but you don't actually pay to see the doctor here, unless it's some kind of non-regular, like cosmetic surgery or something like this, right? Liposuction, things like that for that's an example. There's some things that wouldn't be covered, but heart attacks, broken legs, and stuff like this, you don't have to come up with the money. And my goodness, if you did, it'd be really expensive. In some countries where it isn't covered, like through taxes and stuff like this, at a high level, if you get cancer, your family might be mortgaging off their house or selling things because they can't afford it. So I think we're lucky without getting into politics. That's what I'm just saying. Now let's just see here. Here's a chart indicating responsibilities for the federal and provincial where it goes. I did the big things here, but you can see there's a long list of things. And there's some things that are shared and stuff. I'm not going to get into it because it's a long list, but you can see. Calculating taxes. Luckily, you got computer programs to do this, but you still understand a bit before. Like it's kind of like magic. You just put in some numbers and tells you owed this much taxes, and you might get a refund, you might not. I have a vague idea what this computer program is doing. And the other thing is file your taxes. Don't pay anything for it. You can get free software. I use free software. So if I can, unless you're running a small business or something like that, you do not need to pay to have your taxes done. If you just have a regular job, okay? Get something for free, but do it every year. You get in trouble if you miss 3 years in a row or something. You might be getting in trouble. Miss 1 year. Anyways, it's beneficial to be able to calculate what amount your income tax will go to. Taxes and other deductions. Chang makes $65,891 a year. He has to pay 18% federal income tax. How much does he have to pay? Now this is simplified. So change 18 to a decimal number. We know that. You divide by 100, decimal 1/8. Multiply that amount, 18. There's an error here. They put 0.15. That same in your booklet too? Because I printed the teacher. I'm going to just multiply it out and see what it's done with it. I don't know what you're doing. Numbers are wrong. That doesn't make sense. Okay. So this should be which equals. That's what I do. Now that's very simplistic, and that is not. You wouldn't actually pay that much tax on it. But it's just the simplified version. This guy is using 15%. We'll keep it at that. Kenneth made 2,350 in a 2-week period. He paid 352 in income tax. What percent was taken off? Ah. So if you take it and make it into a fraction, you divide two numbers, big number on the bottom, you get the decimal, and then multiply by 100, you get percent. It's no different than write a test for you, get a percent. Just use this as an example here. Let's say the test is out of 50. Braden, what do you think you're going to get out of 50 on the test? 49 out of 50, as usual. So you divide that. You know what? I can do this one. 0.98. That's the same as 98%. You can do it on a calculator, though, because I multiply that by. You just divide it. That's basically what we did, or what the example did. Not 100% of the math is correct, but it's the right math. Okay? So, guess what you guys will be trying out? Percents. Use a percent, 15%, make a decimal 1.5, and then multiply it by 11% provincial income tax. You'll have to pay in provincial as well. Blah, blah, blah. What's the total income tax? You add those two together. Jonathan, similar question here. Yeah, yeah. Daniel, hope. No hope if it's tax. Okay. I'll just hang on. There's the recording. Yeah. So I'm going to get you guys to do those questions. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the last one, I think so. Yeah. So you're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4 for those, and I'll stop the recording.